to introduce Carlos Perez from Constante Solar. We're very fond of Carlos at GeoTenerife, let me have you know. A, because he's the most extraordinary scientist in Boffin, but I think actually primarily because he's got this fabulous solar oven that does the most fantastic hot dogs at parties. So if you nobble him over lunch, you must ask him about that as well. Just a point of information, because we're running a little bit behind time, I've asked Nemesis if he doesn't mind if we move his talk to after lunch. So, Carlos, you will be the last speaker before lunch, if that's okay. That gives us plenty of time to ask him questions after he's finished, and then we'll move downstairs, isn't it, for lunch. Lovely. Thank you. Carlos.
Thank you. Well, I think it's good afternoon. Yep. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My speech, I'm going to start today with telling you a short personal history. It happens about 25 years ago at a meeting family in Christmas Day. The typical, all the family goes together to the parents' house to pass the Christmas days. In that time, I met my brother, and well, the typical conversation, how are you, how things are going? And he asked me, do you still working at the Renewable Energy? And I say, yes, I do. And he said, listen, I told you several times, you will die starving. Well, 25 years later, I'm not rich, but I'm here, and my weight is 235 pounds. This is because during these 25 years, I think the 24, I've been a romantic for the renewable energies, especially for the solar energies. And the last year, I started also my romanticism with the wave energy. Okay. The speech I divided in two parts. The first one is just to make a brainstorm concerning energy. I want to tell you something, nothing new. You can find all the information I'm going to give you in the first part in internet. And the second part is what I call it the renewable energy cultural project. It's a cultural project. I call it a tree for Africa. We talk later. Okay. Let me see how. Well, imagine if we are not able to get energy, we won't be here. And if tomorrow we are starting to get some demand of energy and we don't have it, we are in a real trouble, okay? So energy is the basic thing to survive. First, I put this slide. Like I told you, I get the information from the internet. And I make a graph concerning the energy consumption in the world for different countries. There are countries like Canada and United States that they consume about 12 to 15,000 kilowatts an hour per habitant a year. It's a lot of energy. Then there is another group like Germany, Japan, UK. They are around 10,000, 12,000. So you see the different countries. And I want to put a special attention in countries like China and India, that they are growing in the energy consumption very fast in the last 15, 20 years. The reason everybody knows is the industry. Then there are countries like South America, they are more or less stable. They don't grow too much. And then there is another one in Africa, like in Mali, Mauritania, Senegal, and other countries, that they have a very low consumption due that their industry is not really strong. The industry is the most important area of consumption. Now we make a brainstorm. What's going to happen in 2050? Well, the energy consumption is growing from 1900 with the oil as a principal fuel. In the First and the Second World War is when the consumption really has a explosion and goes very fast, is growing very fast, okay? I put here in the red line what's the consumption in the world. You see that in 1900 the consumption is not really important, but from 1900 to 2000 is when really grows, but from this year, well, 2014 now, to the next 100 years, it's going to be a very, very fast consumption of energy. Where we are going to get this energy? Well, the blue line is oil. I just put the oil. The oil start having some problems, restrictions, since 10, 15 years. We all hear many times, the oil is finished next year. The oil is going to finish in 20 years, in 15. Well, the thing is that it's going to be finished. Okay? I will say, let's give it oil until 3000. I won't be here. I don't know if... So, for me, I will say, well, who cares, no? I'm going to die before, so if there is not oil, there is not energy, that's not my problem. But the thing is that the next generations, they are going to have a big problem around 250. Around 250, the oil plus the solar energy is going to cover not 100% of the total demand. So we will need to get from the gas and nuclear. Okay? I want to make a small parenthesis that I forgot to tell you that when my brother told me that I'm going to die starving if I continue with the renewable energies, in that time my brother works in the nuclear field. So the green line is the renewable energies. Nothing happened until 2000. 2000 we are covering around 20% of the total energy consumption, no more. For the next 50 years, there are a lot of plans, a lot of projects telling us that we are going to be almost 100% renewable. Well, the thing is, I will say, it's going to grow, but not as much as they tell. But the thing is that if we don't push hard the renewable energies, we are going to be in the big problems around 250. Let's check, for example, an industrial area, a country with industrial area, and we take two cities, one with 2.5 million inhabitants, another one just 500,000 inhabitants. Both of them, they are industrialized, one with a high, medium. The consumption for the 2.5 is around 30,000 million kilowatts an hour a year. And is covered by oil, gas, nuclear, and renewable energies. Here it is. Well, where is the consumption? The consumption, I put it in 4 areas: housing, transport, industry, and services. You just see in this industrialized country, the housing takes more or less the same. It doesn't matter if it's a big city or a small or medium city, about 1,200 kilowatts hour a year. The transport makes a big difference. It's not the same, the consumption in transportation in London that in Santa Cruz de Tenerife, for example, where it's a small community and the transportation is not big distance. The people, they don't have to drive for many kilometers to work, etc. So in the medium city goes a little bit lower than in a big city. The industry the same, and the services goes more or less the same between big and small per inhabitant. So hospitals, government services, etc. should be more or less the same. Well, in the big one you see that from the 12,000 kilowatts hour a year per habitant, 9,280 are from conventional energies and only 2,000 from renewables. 18%, 20%, no more. The same happened here. You need less energy, but the percentage covered by renewable energy is going to be more or less the same. This is the most important slide. We checked the industrialized city of 2.5. We said that they have a consumption of 30,000 million, and the 82% is covered with conventionals, and the 18% with renewable energy. What's going to happen if we invest in this city 900 million euros? I suppose to put in pounds, because I'm going to be here in London, but I hope the UK came to the euro soon. Well, more or less, figure out that an euro is almost the same as a pound. It's not true. But okay, if we invest 900 million in renewable energy, it's going to be more or less a mixture of 500,000 kilowatts power. Thermal, photovoltaics, and wind energy. That's what I consider. This one is going to supply us around 638 million kilowatts. That in 2020, when the consumption of this city goes from 30 to 31,000 million of kilowatts, the conventional should be 80.7 and the renewables 19.3. So we invest in a big city 900 millions and we get 1.3 of efficiency in renewable energies. So that's what the English people call it peanuts. I don't know if it's English people or American people. Peanuts. That's nothing. It's just make an action that they don't really get efficiency in the saving energy, conventional saving energy. If we go for a country that is in process to develop, like there are many countries in the western coast of Africa and inside of Africa, well, what's the oil is a lot of oil now. The consumption goes very low, and the renewables energy also is not much. What I'm going to plan, what I'm going to present in this presentation is that the project that I bring here is not a project of charity or a project for a non-governmental organization. No, the project is, I like Africa. I want to be with Africa, but I don't want to make with them charity. I want to make with them business. They make money, and we make money. That's the idea. Not to say, okay, let's give to this country in Africa 1,000 kilowatts in renewable energies, photovoltaics, eolic, wind energy, doesn't matter. No. I don't want to give them nothing for nothing. I want to give them something for money and make a business and get a partner. Well, here is the same. What's going to happen with a country in Africa with 500,000 population? The consumption maybe goes almost 3,000. Remember that there are countries with 12 and 10 and 15,000. The last information I got from the internet is that Canada consumption is 15,000. Well, you see the housing, if you remember the slides before, in an industrialized country, goes around 1,200. Here, they are in 500. That's what all they need. Because this is an average, okay? This is an average of the consumption in the country. But in a place like, for example, here, in England, in London, many people, they have everything. Air conditioning, heating, a microwave, washer, dryer, a lot of electrodomestic, okay? But in Africa, maybe if it's too hot, they open the window. And if it's too cold, they close it. No? That's the real thing, okay? Transport, 600. Remember? 3,000 and 2,500 in the industrialized country. Industry, 1.3. The another slice, 4.5. So 4,500. There is not industry. Well, there is industry, but not important industry that demands a lot of energy. I don't want to continue with this. In a country, in a village in Africa with 400 persons, that is like more or less almost like a nomads. The consumption maybe is 300, 350. And they have some renewable energies that, because we have to consider renewable energies, because they cut a tree, and they get fire from the tree without control. Also, maybe they get some oil get some fire. And the third possibility that they have renewable energy is because they got let's say a present from one country, and they give it a couple of panels of photovoltaics, and they have two lights, two lamps. Well, in this one, with 350, the 80% covers with conventional and 14 with renewable. Just with an investment of 3.8 million, not 900, we can supply these people the 100% of energy. And I will demonstrate in the presentation of a tree for Africa. But before, I feel a little bit with I need to express a little bit something concerning this problem. And I say, can the renewable energies replace the oil, gas, and nuclear? Yes, but don't forget the oil, gas, nuclear companies, along with governments and their taxes, are doing a great business, a real great business. Renewable energy, no, because wind and sun is free. There's no money. I'm not interested. But when the oil era ends, they will need to find a new way to do business with renewable energy. How? Simple. They have the authority, and they will charge taxes per square meter occupancy available to supply renewable energy. All depends the price of the country and the application. Maybe the majority of you, they say, this man is crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. But already we have now a minister in the Spanish government that is charging to use the solar energy. This is not the speech I brought here, so I leave it with this comment. So, at the end, the casino never lost. Anyway, oil company and governments, they don't lose. They have to win always. Meanwhile, the society still depends on the grade of housing comfort, type and use of transportation, industrial development, prices of conventional energy, services supplied, investment required and repayment, environmental benefits, and others. I finish my speech about energy. I will have hours to talk about this, but I have only 20 minutes. My project. Sorry, it's not my project. Our project. Okay? A tree for Africa. A tree is a beautiful plant that I really love it. And a tree also means total renewable energy efficiency. And that's why we choose the name of tree for this project. This is the person that we participate so far, because we are open to integrate more and more people interested in the project to develop different areas. Because we are a group of engineers and architects with a limited knowledge in renewable energies. For example, wind energy. There is no expert in these names. We need some help concerning a project in wind energy. Well, we call ITER, Guillermo, and he will help us. We need something like a biodigester. We call an expert in biodigester. So we are open to increment the technical people to collaborate in this project. So far, Antonio Garcia is a person that will be here with Eduardo and Miguel. He couldn't make it, but he was the person that impulsed this project. Then I put it me as a first, like a plan manager. Sounds good. Miguel Vera, Israel Simón, José Luis, Silvia, Lucía, and Pedro Díaz. Wow. We take a sample. Let's find a group of 80 families living in the western coast of Africa whose principal economy, activity, and food source is fishing. There are a lot of communities like this. They can survive with a minimum energy demand and drinking water, without the possibility to develop further, get an education, healthcare. Maybe they are happy like this. That's why I call it at the end, it's a cultural project. Because there are these people living in the western coast of Africa. If we go and we offer them the possibility to change their life and become closer to what they call it the first world, maybe they say, I'm not interested. Why you came here to make me a problem? I'm happy like this. I don't need that. And in that case, I do a step back. I'm not a missionero that I'm going to die trying to put inside an idea. It's their choice. But there are another groups that they will be interested in develop a new project and to be closer to the first one. That's why I make this comment. Well, how can we help these people? Just supplying equipment and technology, and so they can obtain a bit of free energy. Then they will be no longer be an isolated village, but our partner. That's what I want. I want a partner. The project have several steps. The first one, we have to check a location and its particular natural resources. Like Guillermo said before, when you are going to build a house for these people in Africa, you have to check what are the materials in the area. What's the type of construction that is required to be the most efficiency from the energy, for the most energy efficiency. Identify the potential sources of renewable energy available in the area. It's not the same if we are in the coast. Maybe we can apply solar, thermal, photovoltaic, wind, wave, but maybe it's inside, it's inlander. In that case, maybe you go for hydraulic, if you get a river, photovoltaic, biomass. So each village has their own resources. That's very important. Now we propose a housing development. Design modular spaces, make a urban plan, calculate the energy demand, and the designing equipment, training courses, and prepare a budget. For that, I try to explain this one the most simple possible with 4 slides. First one, we have a model. Where is the location, the type of housing, and the services? Okay, if we go to a village in Africa, that's an example, we check, and they say, well, these people are located in that country. They are close to the ocean. They have a desert. They get water from a well, maybe walking 5-10 kilometers inland just to get the water. They got the power from oil and forest. They cut a few trees. And they got food from fishing. And also maybe they have some cattle, goats, lambs, camels. Okay. They are a group of families. Well, we identify and recollect information. I didn't put all the information because it's too long, but just a sketch to see it, okay? That's what we propose. We propose make a new housing, give them a transportation and lighting, create a hotel. That's very important. Let's say that it's 80 families. You build 80 houses for them, plus 20 or 30 houses more that they will be as a business, a tourist business. They are renting. Maybe a hotel, an investor is interested in put some money in this project to rent those houses. The people that goes to this hotel is not the person that is looking for a fantastic swimming pool, air conditioning, a nice buffet. No. They go to a house, living like the local people. They are eating the same, and they will spend maybe one day going to fish, another day seeing how the people stay with the animals. They have a garden, they have fruits, vegetables. So they spend a lot of time, their time just living how those people they are living. So that's a type of tourist that is not what we are used to receive, for example, in Tenerife, okay? But there are people interested in that type of experience. The next thing is to check where is the demand, the energy demand, and this is the orange, and the yellow is the power, the renewable energy power that we require to supply the demand. The next, we make a budget, how much cost the renewable energy to install, plus the another services like building the houses, or everything what they need, how much it's going to cost. For example, in this investment of 3.8 million in renewable, we need now 3.6 million in equipment, 1 million more in miscellaneous, and 500,000 in training. A project like this is going to cost about 9 million euros. With 9 million euros, well, we can ask to the European Union for some help. There are a lot of programs to help Africa. Let's say that we get 4 million, the 50%. That's not nothing, I will say, nothing out of the reality. So it's very close to the reality. Total, the total payoff is 4.4. We can get an income of 1.3 plus selling, because what I'm trying to explain in this project is not just giving them the energy and create a new village. The new village is going to be with a healthcare center, sports center, education center, religious center, and a big building, what we call it a process center, the place where they process all the products that they are producing in the village, like vegetables, fruits, meat, milk, cheese, whatever, okay? The thing is that in this budget, with a pay of 4.4 million, an investor could be a hotel or a particular person, doesn't matter, puts 3.1 million, and he will get a payback investment in 4.3 years. I don't want to go step by step. Just give it the final results, okay? And these people, they don't get this free. They have to pay too, okay? But in that case, they have the 30%, so it's 1.3, and in 2.2 years, they pay back their part. But most important, if the things they are running okay, they can make around 7,000 euros a year per family. This is a lot of money in Africa. This is not this is not a low salary. No, this is a lot of money, and will give them the opportunity to open to other world. I go fast in trying to photos. We make a maqueta model, and that is going to be presented the next 8th of May in Santa Cruz in one exhibition, and shows, I just take some pictures. This is, for example, the village. Like this is the process center. We put it one desalination system to get drinking water. And there is a sport area, educational area, a place to keep the cattle, some garden, some fruits, fruit trees. This is the houses. So just a general project, how it looks. Here is another view. We put it here also like a greenhouse for the production of tilapia fish. That's a type of fish that you can reproduce inlander. You don't have to be in the sea or in the river or a lake. Here is another one. Well, I hope you get the idea of what I try to send you. I finish. I know that I'm going to be here in England, so I just choose a sentence or quotes, famous quotes by William Shakespeare. This is not enough to help the feeble up, but to support him after. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much.
just getting more on the solar power. Have you heard of the project out there called space-based solar power?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine that's part of the project.
Yes.
And apparently they've just been funded by India and China.
Yes.
To back this project.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Can you talk a little more further on that, or?
No. Well, the thing is that this project, this is nothing new. Okay, there are several projects very similar to this one in different countries. I have here also, I know that there are a group of people doing this in some area in Israel, okay, and in Africa also, in inland in Africa, in Congo. I know that there are projects like this one. So this is nothing like a new project. No, it's not a new project. What we maybe increase is just to try to make just not supply them the 100% of the energy, to develop a process of working life, working process that they give us work, food, and money. But also, by experience, I've been one day in a conference, an expert in renewable energies in Africa, he said, Miguel remembered me the last night talking at the dinner, that he said, Africa is the biggest technology cemetery. I don't know if the translation is what I try to explain. And that's true. Many governments, they give to the people like reverse osmosis with renewable energies to get drinkable water. Here is. Back, how many? 1, 2 years?
2 years after.
2 years after, he has experience. And where's the machine? And say, well, maybe 1 meter below the dune. So the thing is not going to this country and give them something first free. Free, no. Because I'm the first that if I am in the another side, I don't accept charity. I accept help. And if the help means work, business, and partner, I'm okay. Well, okay.
Yes. I didn't want to speak today, but I must speak for him a little bit. Just excuse me. We need partners, urgently. That's a drama. And the islands and Tenerife's government and the Canary Islands, we have been working hard in the last 30, 40 years in compromise with West Africa, Africa Occidental, what we call it. And his example today, what he has done, and what he will do, he can only does it with a big support, not only from the very, very, very little support we give. I mean public money, nothing, very little. But the private compromise with this part of Africa, from the south of Morocco to the Gulf of Guinea, the coast, how we speak in the Canary Islands, La Costa, with practical projects like we see this morning in Carlos Teachers is really very important for us. Very important for us, and I hope we'll speak a lot about this, but I hope this morning you listen very interesting to this project. No? In the coast of Africa, it's the south region of Europe, like we are the Canary Islands. It's urgently wanted the compromise of private enterprises from UK, Germany, or wherever it is, to help these people, these good friends. And the tree from Africa is c'est l'espoir pour l'Afrique. Merci.
Sorry.
Thank you very much. Any more questions from the floor? Thank you. If you would say your name first, please. Thank you, sir.
My name is Peter from the High Commission of Ghana, and I want to thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. There is no doubt that demand for energy in Africa has grown over the years, and some of the reasons are due to rapid urbanization and the services sector. In most of the countries, you find that they account for about 50% of the GDP. That is just by way of a contribution. But I just want to also bring your mind to the fact that there is always this perception that, doing renewable energy is a very expensive project, and so most countries would rather go with a conventional approach. I don't know how this Tree for Africa project solves this, or erases this perception. Thank you.
Yes, yeah, you're right. You're right concerning that most of the countries in Africa, they don't have money to affront a project like this. But a project like this, but I'm not asking for the money from the African countries. From the African countries, what I'm looking for is the interest in develop a project like this without having problems, cultural problems. That's the first step. The money will bring investors. Principal, I'm looking for investors in the tourist business because there is a possibility to develop a type of business. The persons that would like to spend 1 or 2 weeks in a village like this and have the experience on what means living in Africa for 1 or 2 weeks. So no, I'm not looking the money from the African countries, but I'm not going to give them by free. I want to be compromised with a budget and to pay back this budget. I give you the money, small amount of money, but not free. Because if I give you free, it's not, you don't give it a value, okay? That's how I think. Maybe you from the other side, you have a different opinion concerning what means free or what means charity.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Sorry, it was just a question.
Yes.
I haven't understood well. At the beginning, you mentioned that it's fundamentally cheaper to spend money on renewables and get 100% freedom from fossil fuels. Is that in Africa?
Yes.
Is that really the case? I mean, and why is it?
Yes. I try to explain you. When we are talking from a place like here in London, to say that in 2050, this city is going to be covered 100% of renewable energies, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Okay? And the invest of money that you have to invest to get jump in the percentage of renewable energy covered, let's say of 2-3% more, it's a lot of money. So, if you go to Africa, with less money, you can demonstrate in a small project that the renewable energies, they have an opportunity, they have a chance, and it's able. So I heard that you are an architect before, okay? It's better start building the house from the basement than try to build the house from the roof. I don't know if I, you understand me what I'm trying to tell you. So, so the house is already made, and you try to build it from the roof, try to supply the energy. But if you start from the basement, you can make the right designing, the bioclimatic designing, the perfect materials for this location, etc., right? But that's what I'm trying to do. And the biggest chance to the renewable energies is go to Africa and start with a small project, because this is a really small project. Invest in renewable energies 3.5 million of euros. That's nothing. And I demonstrate before that if you invest almost 1,000 millions, you go 1.5. I said again, peanuts. Well, I'm a romantic of the solar energy. It's 25 years working in that field. But my romanticism, I want to be, I want to believe in the renewable energies. Not just tell the people that, don't worry, in 250, we don't need oil, we don't need nuclear. Yeah, nuclear. We'll see what happens in 250 with the nuclear.
Anybody else? Time for one last brief question. Yes, thank you.
My answer is going to be short.
Please, yes.
Marissa Deeks from GUTS, Cancer Charity. I just wondered whether you actually have communities in Africa who are already interested in joining in the project.
Yes, we are working in this. We are working out in these things to find out in some village, especially in Mali, in Mauritania, and in Senegal, and in Guinea Equatorial. Okay, for this project, that's why we need and is collaborating 100% Cabildo, our government. They are pushing hard. They have a person, just one person, traveling for all these countries, promotion and explaining them how is the project, what's the content of the project, and what's the idea. This is Delia. I think so. It's Delia. Eh? Yeah.
Okay. Carlos, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.